Hi, this is Pam with ROC Metaphysical. It's another one of our video series. So the magazine is an online magazine. It's only online, no paper. And now that I have video editor, if you look below, you can see the name of the magazine, rocmetaphysical.com. New articles come out the first of the month, which I think is Wednesday. So I have advertising, event information, all kinds of fun stuff. And so what I've been doing is interviewing some of my people that advertise, that offer either, like in this case, Stacey's a traveling store, or a gypsy on wheels wherever she goes. And she's one of my advertisers. And she carries a lot of unique products. So I thought, hey, let's talk about what she has and what she does and find out what's going on. So, Stacey, the name of your business is?
My business is called Wyld Ravin.
Why?
I have been obsessed with ravens and crows my whole life, and I am obsessed with nature. So when I was trying to design the name, and on March 3rd, actually, the official business will be 8 years old.
Wow.
I wanted to try to combine everything that I wanted within the products that I was making that I couldn't find out in public. So trying to find candles that were nature-based soy wax or herbed candles that didn't have crap in them, basically.
We're being real here. So
we're being real. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But your candles are intention candles, some of them too, right?
Very much. I started off with a broad range, and then I've narrowed it down to basically all I make now are intention candles and or deity candles and honoring candles. So all of my candles are working candles to some degree, whether you're manifesting. I have a manifest candle. So if you're manifesting, it's going to be there to help boost your skills and your manifestations. It won't do the work for you, sorry, but it will definitely give you an extra boost and help direct the energy where it's meant to go. My deity candles are great for working with a specific deity or just to honor that same deity. I also make a few archangel candles that I work with those angels as well.
All right, name a couple of deities.
Oh, God, I love them all. I don't want to say some of my favorites because they're all going to get mad at me. I work very heavily with the Morrigan. She works with me in my shadow work classes. I work personally with Persephone and Hecate. Boy, I know I'm going to leave a bunch of them out, and they're all going to be like knocking on my dream window tonight, right? I even have like Hades and Anubis are two of the male deities that I work with closely. And I have a whole bunch that are lined up ready to be made that have been patiently waiting, and hopefully they'll be poured in the next month or so.
So then are you, or would you consider yourself pagan?
I am a pagan practicing witch, yes.
Okay. And so do you have, so your candles, you name some deities. Mm-hmm. Is there one focus that you have? Because I know some people say it's only Hecate and that's it, and no one else. And so I'm not knowledgeable about this, only a little bit. So
right. Every witch practices in their own way. So if one witch says Hecate is my only deity, then, you know, you could kind of take that for her word or his word. I have a few that I work with. Hecate is my main, but I work with a couple others to do different types of workings. The deity candles that I make, I actually go into a journey, which is much like a meditation. I go into a journey and I connect with that deity, and I have them explain to me what they want me to make their candle to smell like or to look like. If they want any specific oils or scents in it, or any kind of specific crystals and herbs, and the color as well. So all of my deity candles have kind of been designed by that deity themselves. This is my representation of what they've come to me to do. So I know some people are like, well, it's not this color, not that smell, and that's okay. If their deities come to them in a certain way, I honor that as well. These candles were made by them in our way. That's how they wanted me to present them.
Well, I think that's very interesting,
Yeah.
because you could just make candles and just say, oh, this is for Persephone. And
You can. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that, because the practitioner is going to make it their own. So the practitioner is going to connect their candle, even if it's that dollar store pillar candle that, you know, I don't even know what it smells like. Even if it's that kind of candle, it works perfectly well. I kind of stumbled into the deity part of it when I was working on my own deity connections, and they were just like, do this. And I'm like, oh boy, this sounds like fun. And then they all just started like showing up, and I'm like, okay, here we go. I guess
I like it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Would they get very anxious when they want to be made? Sometimes some of them are a little bit more anxious than others. It gets quite entertaining, you know, in the middle of the night when you're dreaming and you hear them knocking on the dream window. They're like, okay, is it time? Okay, no, I'm sleeping right now. I'm not pouring candles tonight.
Right. It's like, leave me alone. I'm a human trying to get to sleep.
That's right. This human body's got to do its thing. I follow you, but we'll work on that in the morning.
So I know we've been at fairs together, and I know you have candles, but you have other things. So when you're vending at an event, you had rocks.
I do. Yep. I have started selling the crystals, and not just any crystals. So I'm also a shamanic practitioner. So that's kind of like the other half of my business. And the crystals that I've been selling recently are the ones that I use in my classes, in my shamanic classes. A lot of my crystals are geared towards opening up trauma responses and working through these things. So whether it's giving courage or giving, that gentle nudge, just kind of helping you grow into the person you're meant to be, really just to help you get through those huge trauma spots and kind of break free and break those barriers down.
And what kind of shamanic background do you have?
I have been studying shamanism for a little over 2 years now. I started taking classes in 2020, and I knew it was a perfect fit for the continuation of my practice.
And is it Native American based, or?
The practice that I studied through was, it came through Peru. So, yeah. Well, maybe someday I'll make it down there. It would be an honor to, but it was really life-changing for me. It really was.
Yeah,
So.
I've been to Peru 2 times, and I've got my mesa, and it's interesting, fun, very much clearing up your own stuff, so that when you work with people, hopefully you're not dragging all your own.
Well, and that was, I think, part of it is I didn't realize how much I was still holding on to. And people always ask me, like, well, can you do your own shadow work? I will always tell them, absolutely. If you want to start journaling, you can go on Google and find like great shadow work prompts, and those are great starts. But when you really are ready to dig deep, you've got to find some mentor or teacher or some kind of program, because it's really hard to face these things on your own.
And it's more fun in a group. Did you study with a group?
I did. I had some friends that took it with me, and I tell you, I couldn't have gotten through without them, because you dig down deep and find things you didn't even realize were there.
Right.
So that encouraged me to start taking other people through it, because I tell you, the freedom with healing your junk is amazing.
I totally agree. Yeah, you just don't realize what's happening. And when you hear other people, you're like, holy cow, I guess I got stuff, and everybody has stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even if you say, "Oh no, there's nothing," and then in
Baloney.
one instance, we had to write a story about something, and people brought it to my attention. They're like, "Wow, there seems to be a recurring theme," and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute."
Oh, what's that
Let me
theme? Oh,
think about
geez.
that.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a few of those.
So then the other thing I think I read in your advertising is that you do like mentoring,
Mhm.
and is that part of like your class stuff or one-on-one or both?
So I kind of like, I'm the little gypsy, wandering gypsy girl. I kind of do a little bit of everything. So the mentoring, the spiritual coaching and or mentoring is a one-on-one. It's morphed more into the shadow work, but there are a few people that still want to do just learning witchcraft or something in that realm. But a lot of people are really into learning more about the shadow work and taking these classes. I have several students now, and it's amazing to watch their growth. It's like that mama thing, watching them kind of walk on their own and be like, I overcame this, and it's kind of very rewarding. But I do one-on-one mentoring for any kind of witchcraft or any of that stuff. I also teach. So my girlfriend and I teach like Witch 101s and Witch Lab, they're called. So the 101 is like a 6-class series that we do once a year. We do it over at Paranormal Oddities out in Depew. Eventually we're going to get it over into Ascension Tattoo in South Buffalo, hopefully in the next few months. We're kind of pounded out dates for all of that. The Witch Lab it's kind of like a hands-on spell work class. I want to say it's for advanced, but you don't have to be a practitioner. You don't have to be advanced. It's just something, I think it's more powerful if you have a little bit of knowledge behind you, but it's not necessary.
Right.
We do different kind of spell work every month, and we have a blast.
Yeah, I did that with a couple friends online, and spell candle, intention candle.
Mm-hmm.
And I had, well, I won't say what it was about because if people see this, I might go, oh, now I know.
Oh, right.
So we'll just say that it was a very specific issue that needed to be resolved, and within a matter of weeks.
Nice.
Things
Very
changed,
nice.
but I think, I have to say, did something also change with me?
Mm-hmm.
Because I did that candle
Mm-hmm.
to allow things to happen. So I'll take it however it comes.
Absolutely. Magic doesn't always go out one way. Sometimes it works within.
Right.
Yeah, we have a blast. We've done black scrying mirrors. We've done return to sender spells. We got a couple fun ones up our sleeves that we're patiently waiting for. We have a ball. It's mostly fun. It's serious spell work, but we have a great time doing it. We love our students. We have a blast with them. I have a spirit guide class that I'm doing on March 5th. That is going to be done at the Ascension Tattoo. So those are my 2 main locations right now that I'm working out of physically.
And then you're here and there with different fairs.
Yeah, I wander about the fairs. We were recently at the Earth Spirit Expo. And then prior to that, a couple weeks prior to that, I run through some of the Experience Psychic Fair locations as well. So, and I know Earth Spirit's going to have a few in the summer, so I will be hopefully at both of those.
And I'm sure she'll have more, because I think last year she had at least a couple in the summer and then one at Halloween time.
Right. So I'm trying to get to all of them. Loading up those candles though is hard to do, so y'all have to forgive me for not going to every single fair. It's exhausting.
Well, but we can say you have a website, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. And
yeah,
if you want to say it now or at the end.
So my website is myname.com. So it's WYLDRAVIN.com. witchcraft.com. I'm sorry, but I had to spell everything wrong. I don't know, maybe it's like a genetic trait. My name was spelled wrong. My brother's name was spelled wrong, so I might as well spell my business name wrong, right? But yeah, it's super easy. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm trying to be on TikTok, but I'm just not that with it, guys. You know, I'm trying.
Well, it's still a lot to do fairs, be
It
at a
is.
couple physical locations somewhere in the Buffalo area,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then do the work and have the classes.
Yeah. And keep up with my wholesale accounts because I do wholesale to a bunch of different local shops. And I'm expanding there. I'm expanding out, hopefully, to the Rochester area. I would like to get at least one shop out in the Rochester area. And I've got a friend of mine is working on, expanding me out, even out to Ohio. So that would be very exciting to get from
Nice.
Rochester to Ohio. Yeah, I would love that. But yeah, so I have wholesale accounts, and I think I love to do that more so than anything else because it's really rewarding to drop off like cases of candles and be like, I know other people will love these. Because everyone's like, open your own shop. And I'm like, no, that I'm doing in the back, doing all the taxes. I don't want to do that. I just want to be with the customers,
No, I understand that. It's so much fun interacting with the people.
It is. It's my favorite part.
Right. And then there's stories or information that you get. That's why
yeah.
I enjoy doing the fairs. You never know, somebody comes along
Yeah.
with some little tidbit of information that you're like,
Yep.
I
One of your
never-
guides is just like, ooh, synchronicity. And you're like, oh,
right.
Yeah.
For sure. Yep.
yes.
Right. So busy girl. So we're doing candles and classes and mentoring.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you're at 2 locations in Buffalo. Then you do fairs. Is there anything else that you do that we haven't talked about?
I do read tarot too
Oh,
on my downtime. So for my candles, which I love, it was the beginning of my journey. I will never give them up. I love them very much. I have expanded into, I do tarot readings. I've been doing tarot readings for about 20 years, as long as I've been practicing. I do teach classes on witchcraft and a variety of different things. I do shadow workshops with people and shamanic apprenticeships now. And I am building some workshops. So keep your eyes out because I got some interesting workshop ideas coming up. I'm just putting it all together.
right. And so for future, you may be in Rochester at the Rochester Paracon, I hope.
I signed up for that one. So I'm waiting to hear back on that. When they're ready to send out the releases, I'll hopefully be there. I'm looking forward to that one. And that was October 7th.
Right. Yep. So I'm gonna put a little
Yeah.
shout out for that. So people go, what? Yeah, Rochester Paracon is on Facebook. So I'll put a little shout out for that event. That should be a lot of fun if people are familiar. The Armory is kind of downtown Rochester, and it's haunted, and it's going to be a big event, and it's going to be fun and family friendly. So it's not going to be just all super scary, and that, they might have a little scary. I think Tim Shaw's coming.
I love Tim Shaw.
So it'll be lots of vendors like you and paranormal people and whatever. So that should be a lot of fun.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
So when are you going to start writing articles?
You name it, I'll write.
Well, I'll put a little bee in your ear and just, think about that.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to write some articles. I've done writing before. So I'd be happy to fill in some blanks with some good words.
I would like that. That would be very nice.
All right.
Trying to have the magazine have a variety of different outlooks, pagan, Wiccan, whatever that is in that realm, as long as it's
Absolutely.
positive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, And you should probably say, I mean, your work is all on the positive side.
It is, yeah. I mean, like any person, I'm here to help support people and grow. So that's the work that I do. However, if you try to hurt my kids, I might get upset. Wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't do anything wrong to anybody else.
Right.
Just defend myself and my family, obviously. But no, it's all positive work. It's all to help people grow, to help people learn about themselves, to help people heal. Even myself. All the magic that I do for myself is just basically healing and growing and learning and protecting myself. You know, when you open up to all the energies out in the world, and as you know, working with shamanism, you're opening up to all the energies.
Right.
Just keeping my shields protected and, you know, all of my energies and healing energies in the right path.
Right. Because
So.
I had talked to another girl that studies Northern European shamanism, and
Mhm.
she's a psychic medium, and we were talking about paganism, and in hopes to have people understand that it's not negative, and so
No,
much of
it's,
it is earth-based. At
oh
least
yeah.
my exposure has been Wheel of the Year, so people can
Hmm.
Google Wheel of the Year, and it's really based on like a farming community, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what started it all, is the Wheel of the Years. They celebrated each seasonal change.
Right.
You know, back then they didn't have calendars and, you know, the news to tell you, hey, it's, you know, it's fall. You knew when the crops were done and it's time to take care of the animals and start the store for winter. And yeah, that's basically what I do. You know, I even started canning in 2020 because I'm like, well, here we are. What do we do now? So we started to grow our own food, and it really connected me with my practice even more when I started really like growing my food and then canning my food and preparing it for winter and storing it. It was just another level that took me even deeper into how I honor the earth and how I honored myself and my husband, you know, because here we're eating even more organic. I mean, growing it yourself is pretty organic.
Right.
So it was a really interesting new concept. And then connecting that with the witchcraft and then the shamanism and all, it's all kind of flowing together now in a natural rhythm. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's all nature based. It's all nature based.
Yeah. I mean, if you looked at yourself when you were, 18, 20 or whatever, would you thought you have been where you are now?
I no.
Hmm.
No, if I go back to that mental capacity I was way back then, no, I would never imagine that I would be where I am now.
What do you think was the thing that put you on this path?
Um, my first awakening moment started when my youngest daughter, shortly after she was born, um, I showed a behavior that I didn't like, and it was a learned behavior from family members, um, and that started my mindfulness. I'm just like, okay, I don't want to be this way, so I've got to be mindful and, you know, stop myself before I behave certain ways. And basically, it was just being crabby and screaming about everything. Um, and that opened me up to, wait, there's so much more. And I'm well known for having stacks of books. If you could see my office, you'd know that there's stacks of books everywhere because I love to learn stuff. So one thing led to another, and here I am.
Well, I'm same for me. I mean, I started reading some books, and then
Mhm.
I had to give so many away, and then I started putting them on thumb drives because thumb drives only take up like 2 inches.
Right,
So
right.
I probably have like 500 books that I downloaded.
Oh yeah, I love my Kindle. I've got too many books in there.
Excuse me.
So
Well,
yeah.
I think that's pretty interesting. I mean, for me, I think I just always had an interest. And when I moved to Rochester, there was a crystal store 1 block from my home.
Oh neat.
And I walked in and it was like, ah.
Yep, yep. I
And
know
then
that
took
feeling.
took the classes and talked to the people. And, I would just walk down there and hang out. to just kind of suck it all up.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
That's the best part, especially when you find people in your community that either don't think you're weird or think like you.
Right.
It's
Or weird and
wonderful.
they all think like that.
Exactly. And you're just kind of like, oh, I found people like me. Yeah, that one awakening moment where you're like, this is real. Oh, I get it now. And that was, for me, that was when I found my first witchcraft book. I'm like, wait a minute, all these times I've been playing this make-believe game growing up my whole life, and there's actually something. This is crazy, because I wasn't raised in a church or anything, so I had no basis of religion, and then therefore had no basis of religion saying that witches were evil, because I just was oblivious to all of that. We never went to church. I had no concept of that. So I would play my witchy potion making, berry collecting thing growing up. And then as I got older, being rebellious teenager in the 80s, we just were rebellious. I didn't think twice of it. And then as soon as I found my first book, I'm like, oh, all these things that I've done my whole life, all these little habits that I would do, or these little superstitions, or these little potion makings. I'm like, I've been doing this my whole life. I get it. Click.
Wow.
And it just clicked right into place. So it was fun.
That's kind of
Now,
nice.
Yeah. Now I have an excuse to have 700 herbs, right? And 50,000 crystals.
Oh, yeah, at least. You probably have
At least.
more.
Well, because I use them in my practice, so I have to test them. That's it.
Oh, okay. That's a good reason.
Right? You have to test them. That's what I tell my husband. Like, I'm testing this. And he's like, yeah, right. Okay.
Well, but you can sprinkle them all over the house. I sprinkle them out in my garden.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere.
I have them at work.
I have bowls. I literally bowls filled with crystals all over the house. When my children were little, I would put a bowl in the middle of the table, and it was all the crystals. I had no idea what they were. You buy crystals and you're like, I'm going to remember what this is. And then you get home and you're like, I don't remember what this is. So I would put it in a bowl and be like, okay, here's a bowl full of crystals that I don't recall what the heck these do. And I would just let my kids pick and choose, because kids would intuitively pick what they needed. And they would just be like, I am going to carry this one around with me all day. And I'm like, okay. I don't know what it's going to do for you, but you need it and you know it, and have at it. So I have bowls of crystals everywhere, and
That's
lots
good.
of them that I don't know what they are.
Well, same with me. I mean, I sometimes will keep the information with it in hopes that I'll remember, but I don't care. They're pretty and they are hopefully doing their work, whatever that is.
Yep.
And I don't care.
They'll tell you where they want to be moved when they want to be moved, and you just hope that they're doing their best job and you're treating them nice.
Exactly. All right.
Definitely.
So we Wyld Ravin is the name of the company, and we have the website, and it's the same on Facebook, right?
Yes. Facebook, Instagram, it's all Wyld Ravin.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else that you want to say?
I just want to say thank you.
No.
I've always enjoyed talking to you, and will continue to do so.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yay.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it.
Well, I think, this is good, because people get to know who you are and understand what your product is. Like, I mean, I even learned more about your candles than even talking to you at a fair. And I find it very interesting. So now I'm going to have to pay more attention and see if there's a candle there that I want to get.
Absolutely.
So we'll see you at the next fair. And I hope that you are selling loads and loads and loads of candles, and
always
have lots of great students and keep you out of trouble.
Absolutely. Oh, well, I'll do my best.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm going to hit the stop button, and we'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. You're welcome.